I don't care why. Feeling me, I'm a die before my time. Feeling me, I'm a die before the sunset shines in the morning, girl, before you wake up. Oh, I don't care why. Feeling me, I'm a die
Welcome you all to this very stage where we are discussing the future of this country from the best of minds. I want to welcome every one of you that has been participating. In the past this third day now, we've been deliberating seriously on the democratic inputs and way forward for us in this country. Assessing the midterm developments in this present administration and giving our own take, and all at the end of the day be victorious. I want to welcome the security apparatus here. I want to welcome members of the civil society. I want to welcome members of the legislative forums that are here, researchers and their likes. You are all welcome to this place. Today is making 3 days of wonderful deliberation, and hopefully we are making headway so that the government, hoping that we put our advices, our ideas together to grind out a better democracy for all of us. Thank you as you listen attentively. A little bit further to the front so that it can be impactful. I want to apologize sincerely for making. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll start here by having the welcome address by the session anchor to bring you up to speed to what we're about to deliberate in the first section here, which is about the legislative stewardship of the 7th quadrennial session of the Nigerian Legislative in the 4th Republic. It is my honor to stand here to present this welcome session. My names are Greg Ilomechizne, comrade. Thank you all for coming. Distinguished legislators, esteemed delegates, development partners, scholars, and fellow stakeholders in democracy. It is with great honor and a deep sense of national duty that I welcome you all to the 2nd Legislative Exchange Conference, a strategic platform within the Nigeria Democratic Week 2025. This year's conference provides a timely opportunity for introspection, review, and reimagination of our legislative future. At the heart of today's discussion or session is a critical theme: midterm legislative stewardship of the 7th quadrennial session of the Nigerian Legislature in the 4th Republic. As we reach the midpoint of the 10th National Assembly's tenure, it is only fitting that we assess how far we have come in fulfilling the core mandates of lawmaking, oversight, and representation, while reflecting on how best to reposition the legislature as a bastion of democracy and institutional integrity. Our discussions today will interrogate not only the measurable legislative outputs, bills passed, motions debated, and resolutions adopted, but also the softer indicators of public trust, transparency, innovation, and inclusiveness. We will engage with pressing questions. How do citizens perceive the 10th Assembly? How do we tackle transparency deficits? What role can technology play in transforming legislative governance? And how can platforms like the African Legislative Exchange Council, AFLEC, help us build stronger parliaments across the continent? Most importantly, this session will witness the historic inauguration of the Executive Council of AFLEC and the Nigeria Regional Legislative Collaboration. I encourage all of us, with openness and critical thought and a shared commitment to reform, let us use this session not merely to review the past, but to lay the foundation for a legislative that truly delivers for its people. Thank you and welcome once again. If I may proceed from here, for us not to waste much of our time anymore, there is a session overview we need to work on here. Still on the same title, on the same protocol I exist, the midterm legislative stewardship of the 7th quadrennial session of the Nigerian Legislative in the Fourth Republic. The second Legislative Exchange Conference serves as a strategic forum for assessing the midterm performance of Nigeria's 10th National Assembly within the broader context of the 7th quadrennial legislative cycle in the Fourth Republic, anchored within the 2025 Nigeria Democracy Week. This session provides a timely and critical audit of Nigerian legislation's contributions to national governance under the Tinubu administration. With the theme, Midterm Legislative Stewardship of the 7th Quadrennial Session of the Nigerian Legislature in the Fourth Republic, this session seeks to evaluate the legislative institution's effectiveness in lawmaking, oversight, representation, and institutional integrity. Participants will reflect on the legislature's responsiveness to national priorities, its alignment with the renewed hope agenda, and its role in deepening democratic accountability in a challenging socio-economic climate. The session opens with a lead paper and tracking the performance of the 10th National Assembly in Nigeria's Fourth Republic. The presentation will offer a historical context of legislative performance review of the 10th Assembly between 2023, motions moved or debated, oversight effectiveness, budgetary scrutiny, and the relevance of legislative activity to citizens' welfare. This lead presentation will also explore the institutional challenges facing the legislature, executive legislation, coordination, tensions, administrative autonomy, internal governance capacity, and the erosion of public trust due to perceptions of legislative rubber stamping and limited citizen engagement. In light of these challenges, the session highlights emerging innovations within legislative process. It will assess the role of technology in enhancing transparency through digital legislative tracking, civic tech partnerships, and open parliament initiatives. The prospects for increasing youth and women's representation through legislative reforms will also be discussed. 2 research papers will complement the lead paper by offering empirical analysis and reform proposals. The first midterm audit of the Nigerian legislature, tracking impact, oversight, representation in the 10th Assembly, will provide a sectoral evaluation of the Assembly's performance. The second, legislative governance and public trust innovations. And the future of Nigeria's parliamentary institutions will focus on rebuilding confidence through modernization and accountability. The central panel session and civic actors to discuss legislative exchange council. Without much ado, to make paid going to invite to the stage for the interactive session to do justice to this very discussion. I call upon Ambassador Dr. A round of applause for him as he comes up to the stage. He just stepped out, okay? To support him in this, I call upon, please, you're highly welcome to the panel stage for us to dissect these issues and do justice to it. We may have an inclusion as well as it comes up. Ambassador Dr. Apostle Okori, good news, please, you are invited as one of the panelists. May I have another microphone, please? Ladies and gentlemen, even as you listen, you are also free to pass on your submissions from the corners. It can be brought to our notice here for your inclusion, your submissions, your opinions, your ideas. They are all welcome for the good of this very discussion. Thank you very much. You are highly welcome, gentlemen. Thank you all for coming. Your contributions for the democracy, for the good of this nation will not be in vain. You are welcome, sirs. Let me start with you. Ambassador Dr. Peter, going by the welcome address and the overview that has just been read out to the public now, I'd like to ask, the journey so far in this Tinubu's administration, spanning 2 years plus now, how would you assess the legislative performance of this 10th Assembly in delivery of motions, bills that are not just okay, but to the response of the people and the inclusiveness of the wishes of the people? How would you assess their performance so far? Or will you just call it another rubber stamp assembly as we had in the past before?
Anyway, thank you very much. However, that is not to say that there are some shortcomings. Like you said, it's just 2 years into the administration, so they still have a lot of time, but still 2 years ahead. And currently, you discover that they've been able to come up with about 300 plus bills, debates on security, education, and in other areas. So as it stands, I think I appreciate their work, what they are doing, and they have done well so far.
Fine. I would have loved to ask, by what indices do we measure their performance? Because as we speak, if you take a toll around the society today, the story from the people, and bills are supposed to be passed to alleviate the problems of the people, to identify and alleviate their challenges. So are you now speaking from the mouthpiece of the people who happen to feel the effect of the governance and are not speaking on the same, or not singing the same song with you?
Actually, I cannot really speak on behalf of the people, because it depends on take an instance. if I'm talking from the angle of the Niger Delta, for example, you will see the PIA bill that has
but looking at the same thing we keep hearing, because we've been hearing about the impact on the people is to amend the constitution. Now and then to change their ways of doing things, because what of checkmate executives into friendship with their executives.
Beautiful.
And if that is a reform, then it is a negative one, because they are but that there is impact in it. The people feel these reforms. They see the growth of the economy. Social, there's much to be done.
Beautiful. In furtherance to that, he's supposed to give us a. Are there any hopes built? Are there any hopes built?
You start seeing it on Wednesday.
Interesting.
So, I am not. I had personalities that
Okay.
because if you want to see radicalism in people, maybe let us just give it in to the executives and then go back behind the curtain and advise them and talk to them. Just watching and assessing. They are not assessing the friendship behind the curtain.
Interesting. Thank you very much for that. If I may continue on that line of question. The lawmaking performance, oversight functions, and responsiveness to citizens are priority things in legislature. Now, it's been often announced these days that before they come to National Assembly these days, some of the leaders, key leaders, first visit the Aso Rock to go and take advice on what should be deliberated. Assumedly. But the point now is this: if you take information or instruction from the executive before you come to deliberate on National Assembly, are there any hope that something come out of that deliberation without being playing to the gallery of the executive when you are supposed to be?
Like I said, in respect to the Senate, I said at times they might want to play maybe safe and say, let us be matured, and then take a middle course. But like you said, if really they go to take instructions, then I think they are sheep. Because if going there will make you to compromise on what to do, then there's no need for you being in the legislature.
Good.
There's no need for you to be there at all. But where you go there, you listen, and they tell you, okay, please, this is, because at times the executives, by law, they are permitted to sponsor bills. So maybe it is an executive bill. They will tell them, okay, this is what we intend to